QA automation Selenium, TOSCA, API testing. Real-time scenario-based QA automation interview questions and answers. Scenario 1. Test script fails due to dynamic elements. Question 1. You have written a Selenium script, but it frequently fails due to dynamic element IDs. How will you handle it? Answer. I'll avoid using dynamic IDs directly and instead identify more stable attributes like name, class, data asterisk, or relative XPath. For example, if the ID keeps changing, I'll use XPath like XPath // input at placeholder equals email. Or use CSS selectors based on static attributes. In addition, I'll wait for the element using explicit waits to ensure the DOM is fully loaded before interaction. Scenario 2. Application changes frequently. Question 2. How do you maintain your automation suite when the application UI changes frequently? Answer. I follow modular and maintainable design principles such as the page object model, POM. When UI changes, I only need to update the affected page class. Additionally, I use centralized locators, so changes are minimal. Tools like TOSCA also help with impact analysis to detect broken tests quickly. Scenario 3. Test data dependency. Question 3. Your automated test case fails because of invalid or missing test data. How do you handle it? Answer. I ensure test data setup is part of the automation workflow. I may use data-driven testing via Excel or CSV a database. Create test data using API calls before executing the test. Mock external dependencies where test data is unavailable. In TOSCA, I use the test case design feature to manage variations efficiently. Scenario 4. API dependency fails in integration testing. Question 4. Your UI automation fails because the backend API is down. What will you do? Answer. I decouple UI and API tests. If API failure is unrelated to UI functionality, I mock the API using tools like Postman Mock Server or WireMock. Otherwise, I mark the test as blocked and notify the development team. Scenario 5. Element not found exception. Question 5. You receive a no such element exception in Selenium. How do you debug it? Answer. Check if the locator is correct and uniquely identifies the element. Use explicit waits to handle timing issues. Java. WebDriver wait equals new WebDriver wait, driver, duration of seconds 10. Wait.until, expected conditions. Visibility of element located, by .id, submit btn. If inside in a frame, switch to the frame. Check for pop-ups or overlays blocking the element. Scenario 6. Automating file uploads. Question 6. How do you automate file upload in your tests? Answer. If the file upload is a simple HTML input, I use Java. Driver.findElement, by .id, upload.sendKeys, c, // /files // If it's a system dialog, non-HTML, I use tools like AutoIt, Windows, or Robot class in Java to handle OS-level interactions. Scenario 7. Parallel test execution. Question 7. How do you execute tests in parallel, and what challenges have you faced? Answer. I use TestNG, or JUnit for parallel execution, and tools like Selenium Grid, or Docker with Selenium containers. In TOSCA, parallel execution is done using distributed execution, DEX. Challenges. Data collision solved using unique test data. Shared resources handled via synchronization or mocks. Flaky tests reduced by improving wait strategies. Scenario 8. Database validation. Question 8. How do you validate data in the UI against the database in automation? Answer. After performing UI actions, I connect to the database using JDBC or similar APIs and run SQL queries to fetch relevant data. I then compare the UI result with the DB result. In TOSCA, I use Tbox DB modules to connect and validate data directly. Scenario 9. Regression test optimization. Question 9. Your regression suite takes 5 hours. How would you optimize it? Answer. Prioritize tests using risk-based testing. Group and run critical tests first. Use parallel execution. Replace flaky UI tests with API or integration tests where applicable. Remove duplicate or obsolete test cases. Scenario 10. CI/CD integration. Question 10. How do you integrate your automation tests in CI/CD pipeline? Answer. I integrate using tools like Jenkins, Azure DevOps, or GitLab CI. I trigger test execution on every code check-in or nightly build. Publish reports like Extent Reports or Allure for visibility. Use Docker to ensure consistent test environments. For TOSCA, I use TOSCA CI or DEX execution list integrated with Jenkins. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe the channel for more videos. See you again.